differently, and every region like has its own meta, something that they think is strong, but I still feel we need a lot more time, you know, to just dig deep, see what's actually good. And when we start playing regions against regions, then we will see what's actually really good and what's like a top tier pick and what's not.
Yeah, see the evolution of the patch, which is always exciting because you'd see that throughout the year. Like we had a patch, we were coming off a patch that lasted for so long, and things changed the entire time. It's not just this static, this is good. You know, you get a couple of things that you think are good, and then teams start to be able to handle that, and then you're changing what you're looking for, what becomes that first ban. And
I think the great example from the previous patch would be Sven +1. Like, who was that one? And at the end of the patch, it was actually Omni Knight. Like, no one was picking that hero, and suddenly we see him being played as position 5. Like, how did we not think of this? Because this seems broken. This seems so good. So, yeah, like, doesn't matter how long we're on the patch, someone will still come up with the fresh and new ideas that they're going to make them work and make them look imbalanced.
Yeah, I know for a time it was like Vici was the only team picking DY, the Omni Knight. Pretty much every game they were playing competitively through those multiple seasons that they had in the Chinese region. So it was interesting to see that finally evolve, more teams pick up on that and go towards it. So now we're still kind of within the first week of the DPC, so it'll be interesting to see what changes and what picks we see and what we see go from, like, maybe this doesn't stay first ban. Like, Puck's getting through right now, but that was like a first ban first couple of days without question. Now teams are willing to let it go through.
I think we might get debated by Puck, where he seems strong. Don't get me wrong, it's a really strong hero, but if he doesn't get that much from the laning stage, you can feel him kind of falling off.
For sure, so we'll see if that ends up being potentially something that changes. They've got a bit of a problem with their mic, a quick pause coming through, and I want to talk about, we've got BDZ up here, or well, down here with the Mars. It's a classic Mars Rubik lane, which you know, is the combo we've seen a lot, not just this patch, but seemingly since like Mars
that seems
came
like
out.
That's gonna be a first blood. One more hit. Oh, they don't get it. Very close. The matchup that we should be looking into is the mid matchup that I talked about. It's Slark's favorite matchup because, of course, you can get rid of the sticky napalm charges with the Dark Pact. He's still saving a point. All right, puts another point in Essence Shift, which I'm not a big fan of. I think having 1 point is more than enough. You want to lower the cooldown on the Dark Pact. It goes down by 1 second, and possibly also get a point in pounds, so there is much more kill potential. What Slark needs to do is just try to get the lane back on his high ground so that he has more space to maneuver with and play more aggressive.
Now sometimes in mid matchups we'll see like bottles picked up from both of the mids, causing the supports to come over. We'll see that 5 or 6 man party over mid at about the 4-minute mark. Is this a matchup where that's likely, or is it more looking like stationary lanes so far?
Well, for Slark, he has a ton of kill potential in this lane, and I don't think he should die. He put the point in pounds, like he could possibly die. If you see Batrider, he's like, if he decides to die, me, I'm putting a point in Flame Break and just knocking him back. And it's actually a very scary lane to play into as a Batrider, because Slark will get that level 6 and then can just continue to like farm jungle. If someone rotates, he's a very hard hero to kill. Like, who's going to rotate? Rubik? He doesn't care about that rotation. Also, he doesn't care about rotation from position 5 Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, the Nyx Assassin was something that we were kind of talking about before it got thrown over to us, how it doesn't feel as strong from the 5 position.
Oh, it really doesn't. Like, I just don't like him as a 5 in certain situations. Like, you're playing into something that has a lot of uncontrollable damage, something like a Leshrac, a Batrider, possibly an Ember Spirit. Then can work, but still prefer him to get some kind of farm, because this hero really scales with the levels.
Yeah, so we'll see how RR handles that role of being on this Nyx in the 5. Armel still doing quite a bit over mid, 20 and 8, 5 CS ahead of the Medusa, which is the closest one. This lane going quite well for a Slark, and normally he's in a position where he's sharing experience with a support if he's down in the safe lane. This is him getting solo experience, doing what he wants, and farming really well with quite a nice matchup, or one that's really been pretty easy for him, and now he's going to pick up an Arcane Room. He's just about to hit level 5, too. So he goes 2-1-2. Definitely feels like he wants to make a move.
Yeah, you want to put more points in the Dark Pack, just lower the cooldown, and this is where your damage comes from. Ken playing a bit aggressive on Slark.
That aggression just has to be a little bit careful, right? Going a little bit too far on this Slark. Maybe a rotation comes in and Slark's, you know, he's having a good time, and you give him first blood, it's going to make it even worse. That could be a big problem. Haven't really felt much movements from Femi. We usually see these Tusks all over the place. At least from the matches we've seen up to this point, we've seen just a lot of pressure from Tusk.
Yes, but I think it's the same thing as like Tusk 5 and the Nyx Assassin 5, where I still prefer that these heroes get the farm priority.
So they missed that spear. The bounty rune's picked up by TNC. One there for Ken. Things pretty quiet for the moment. Gabby getting a little bit low in that bottom lane. He's doing okay. It's not been the best lane for him just yet. They really want to go on a Gabby. You can see that they want to use the telekinesis with the spear eventually to try and catch him out. The spear almost landing just to his left.
Gabby's playing very safe, getting the bottle even though he is safe lane and infused raindrop, so a lot of sustain. This is where the damage is coming from. Pure, you know, magical damage. When I mean pure, I don't mean pure damage, but just straight up magical damage. Top lane, a bit of a dive, but RR is ready with Impale if needed.
And there it is, thrown on to the Slardar. KP moving back with Tims. There's a little bit of aggression coming out of Ken near the triangle before, but they had missed the pounce, and even though they got the shards to block the stairs, it was pretty much safe. And the spear lands. That's going to be first blood. Rapido taking out Gabby, landing that spear. Kind of standing right next to that tower, put him in a position to get impaled. Spear comes through him, connects to the tower, and Fade Bolt, God's Rebuke, easy first blood.
This ward from Dire actually saw Tusk rotation, so they know something is up. Like this ward actually gave them the first blood and did not get Ken killed on a Batrider on the mid lane. Because they saw Tusk rotating, they're like, yeah, we can start playing aggressive. There's not going to be any kind of a rotation or save coming up from Tusk. And Batrider just stacks the jungle for himself.
Yeah, just about to hit that level 7 point. Take these stacks, boost that farm. Go to those, what should be bots first for him, and then the blink?
Most likely. Like just bots, and I still prefer a BKB. You're playing into Puck, into Slark, might need to get that. You still have Mars as your kind of initiator. You have a Nyx Assassin that can start a fight, so you don't necessarily need to invest all your gold into like blink daggers.
Medusa taking a lot of damage here in the jungle. Tim's tethered to Febby. It's just a back and forth of damage without any kills, and then BDZ, when they had that vision over on the Tusk, they'll catch that that ward was placed down. Spike cappers from RR, Febby moving in. Shards placed down,
charge.
That gets around the Medusa as well as the Nyx, but they get the 3-man impale. Not allow them to get the kill on Febby. They're still going to go and get this Medusa with the Bash of the Deep, doing that extra damage. They get the kill, they'll look for RR. There's Bash once again. KP right in front of him lands the Slithering Crush. This should be a second one with Bash to Deep ready to go once again. It's level 3 and does way more than enough to find themselves both. Double kill there for the Slardar. They lay down the Dream Coil, they look over the Mars. Not sure if Rubik's going to be enough here to save him. Rapido ends up going down at Tim's. They look over at BDZ, who just have to walk away.
Oh, Slark is in who's on a mid lane. He's going to start playing aggressively on a Batrider.
Yeah, pounce leashes. There's action happening both mid and bottom. Looking for BDZ. Illusory Orb thrown over, and that pounce leash, after it was over, Ken was able to firefly back to his side of the map.
Yeah, that was weird interaction. Slark with the bounce. He hits the Batrider who's on the high ground, but he does not get there. This is something that happens with Tusk as well sometimes with the snowball. It's just the way Dota 2 works.
Yeah, but the aggression, the laning going so smoothly so far for the Slark puts him at just about 4K. He is top of the net worth at the moment, and that combined with the Slardar, who's having a good lane after that double kill, for me at least, I feel like I sense a lot of aggression coming out from TNC, potentially with those first items coming for both those heroes.
It's expected for Slark to be on the top of the network. He's playing into Batrider matchup. He's not sharing XP with anyone that he usually does. So, you know, he's going to get that level 6 much faster, can continue to farm both lane and the jungle. And I see the Fusel Blade after finishing Orb of Corrosion, which I really like. Like, the Fusel Blade is just a setup for a pounce. Great against Medusa, for sure. And just an item that's always going to be good on Slark. Like Slardar, I see a Blink Dagger queued up after Gloves of Haste, just for some extra damage, because that's Ice Frog's finest creation. Bash of the Deep combined with the IO. Feels really balanced, the attack speed and everything, almost a perma bash. So yeah, I think they need that Blink Dagger on a Slardar. Want to see what kind of item Puck will go. Like, if Slardar's having a good time, then you don't necessarily need to get the Blink Dagger for yourself. You might decide to get like a Witchblade and then get into the Blink Dagger, because you don't necessarily need to spend 4,000 gold just for mobility items, and that's quite a lot, you know. Don't invest too much.
If he gets that quick blink on the Slardar, do you think maybe Puck switches over to go into like a damage build?
No. I mean, Witchblade is a damage build mid lane.
Medusa already taken out.
Melts.
Melts so quickly with these heroes coming over from TNC, and that is a hero you really want to slow down as quickly as you can.
KP pressuring the top tower. I don't think this is going to be contested. Medusa is out in 9 seconds. Slardar, not the hero that deals the most damage to the towers, but they're putting some pressure on a mid lane, so seems like it's going to be uncontested.
Come over to look for Gabby for a moment. RR spots him. Bring the Batrider in. They have Dream Coil. Fighting into this may not be exactly what you want, but they go to the lasso immediately onto the Wisp, follow that up with an Impale. Nobody here to stop that. Armel cutting through in between the tier 1 and the tier 2. That allows
kill secured with the Fate Bolt. This is what you do with the hero. Like Yapzor, a long time ago, started this trend where you get every single kill with the Fate Bolt. Armel needs to be a bit careful.
And now within the arena, but there's the Dream Coil coming through on a 2. Both the Rubik and the Mars locked up. Shards block the stairs. They've got the Snowball coming in. The Impale hits on Armel as well as the Puck. Can they get out of this? They'll have the relocate coming in. Febby with the tag team. Now Flame Break. They get the kill on a Rapido. They'll look for more. Tims comes in with a Tether. That's on Armel. But the Firefly, Ken trying to get some space between him and the Slark. Armel looking the other way, as maybe he doesn't want to go up those stairs. But Gabby commits with the Illusory Orb. Jaunts over. Shards are not entirely enough to block out both RR and Ken. So Gabby goes in a little bit too far and pays for it with his life.
I like how Armel, like after he saw that Wisp is steeping in, starts playing even more aggressively. He knows there will be a heal coming out from the Wisp. The Urn of Shadows is already completed on IO, so you know, it shows that they're all on the same page. Batrider putting some pressure on a Slardar on the top lane, but he's like, nah, I'll just sprint away. 50 gold away from a Blink Dagger. So yeah, you can see the thing that I talked about. Slardar gets his Blink Dagger. Puck wants to get the Witchblade. You do not want to invest so much gold in just mobility items. You need some damage on top of that.
Yeah. This is a 11-minute Blink Dagger for the Slardar. They've got their initiation ready to go. You can get on those backlines, maybe look for the Rubik first. Just initiate basically on anybody. You set that up, and once the Diffusal Blade comes out for Armel, Blink, Slithering Crush, use the Diffusal, lines up the pounce. Should be able to really just start to run through Execration if they don't play it.
That's really a big kill. If they spot the Batrider on the top, maybe... Oh, Nyx Assassin is scouting them. RR just doing a job of a position 5. You know, break the smokes, die for your team.
Now they're coming in. They've got the Telekinesis line up with the Impale. Now the Spear lands. Slark getting low, but they've got the Tether. Armel's not going to die. The Dream Coil is placed down in such a phenomenal spot. They'll take out Ken with the Illusory Orb over. They get the kill on the BDZ. They end up losing Armel and Gabby, though. The turnaround from Execration is more than enough, as they'll take KP's life there as a third and look to continue for more. Febby on the run, trying to make some space. maybe TP out, but it just does not look likely.
Yeah, he just needs to buy time, you know, as much as he can. All right, TP is ready. Kind of got my hopes up that he somehow will manage to get out. Now he will be underneath the tier 2 tower, just tanking some tower hits. Impale will connect. Impale cast animation got improved in the previous patch, so much easier to land a stun. Looked good for TNC, like the initiation, but the counter initiation is also there. Mars Arena to hold him in place, plus Medusa ulti. So this is something that they need to be careful about. Like, I feel TNC's lineup is much better at getting pickoffs instead of just straight up team fighting them.
Yeah, it looked so good, and then the Medusa just gets in, and then that Stone Gaze becomes a real crucial problem for TNC. Armel, Gabby, and KP dropping in succession. So a really good rotation. I can't say enough there for Execration. That counterplay puts them back into this game. It looked like it was slowly kind of falling towards TNC, but Execration with a fight like that come right back into it. However, Ken down bottom, hit with the Dream Coil, bash to the deep, damage there under the tier 1 tower, more than enough to get the kill.
TNC should try to split the map, like use this Slardar blink into relocate play, instead of just going for a 5-on-5 engagement.
And Pale Spear.
Easy setup. Medusa, 2 deaths, but still just 200 gold away from Slark's net worth. Another arena.
Now around with the help of the Medusa. KP just trying to circle, avoid all these spells, but it's not possible. BDZ will be the one who snags that. So it felt like a time where TNC could be aggressive, be the ones moving forward, but Execration have kind of put a halt to that. Now they're the ones going across the river, looking for tier 1 over mid. Medusa feels quite nice with the farm that he's got. Going into the Manta, and Execration should be pretty happy with where they're at in this point in the game.
Yep, I like the movements from Rapido this game, where he is exactly where he needs to be. Like just, you know, Slardar feels really strong right now with that Blink Dagger, but if he is stunned, if he's caught inside the arena, he just straight up dies. And he's the one keeping them in place. Good spear once again.
Catching Armel, Dark Pack, now the Illusory Orb. Gabby trying to leave. Not a lot of distance between him and the side of Execration, but uses that Dream Coil defensively. However, KP with the Blink Slither Crush coming in on the 2. They'll use the lasso to lock up the Slardar. He initiates and pays for it dearly. Killed off as quickly as he jumped in.
TNC trying to make stuff happen when it's not possible. This Medusa is tanky. She has a Possessed Mask, Stone Gaze. Once it's up, you know, it's not that easy to take her down. You can see like the power of Slark when he isolates a single target, but if he is inside 3 or 4 heroes, he just dies.
And the spear.
And there it is.
Yeah. Nostradamus on that one.
I've seen that movie before, you know. I've done that before, where you feel like you need to make stuff happen right here, right now, because, yeah, you're strong, you want to take a fight, but look what you're fighting into. Medusa just finished off her Manta style, and it's going to be problematic. Like, yeah, you have this Slark that kind of deals well against Medusa, but Medusa is slowly taken over at the moment. Slark definitely needs a BKB, you know, to just be able to go in. There's still tool to deal with that, and that's Stone Gaze, so you're not covering yourselves in all the spots, all the weak spots.
So he's going into the BKB. One thing I want to note is that the Puck had the Witchblade queued up, but has bought out on the Blink Dagger. So it will be Blink before Witchblade on Gabby, as that's going to start to come on the Courier. This tier 1 tower, it's gone.
And that's solo Medusa. I like this initiative from Execration, where they're like, we're behind Medusa. That's what probably TNC is thinking, because she's showing on the bottom, but they're making a smoke play on mid. This is pretty big.
The Dark Pack was just used. Now they've got the telekinesis. They'll look for the stun to kill off the Slark. Armel now is under the Firefly of Ken. He's just trying to get some distance. Febby looking like he's dead to rights. They connect the spear, and Ken will get credit for that. They push away the Slark, and that smoke is a bit of a success, killing off that Tusk.
This is a 200 IQ play from Execration. like where you're showing your Medusa, you're making a spot on a different side of the map. You know, it takes a lot of Dota knowledge, and you're kind of into TNC's head right now to actually pull that kind of thing off.
Yeah, just that play alone puts a lot of question into, is this Medusa alone? Now are they going to try and come for us around the map? We'll use that Dream Coil, try to get a kill on a Ken. He snaps it, makes it so they can catch up and get the kill to lock the arena down. RR, he's the second one to fall on the side of Execration. They look over Rapido. KP with a two-man Slither and Crush. That hits onto the Rubik as well as this. Medusa, Stone Gaze through. Febby getting low. One more shot with God's Rebuke. Rapido takes out Febby, but KP looking to go back in. Stolen
Where's the follow-up?
Haze.
There it is.
Now the Waning Rift, that is through onto the Mars as well as the Rubik. They've soloed Medusa alone for a second. Execration right here trying to help, but they're on the high ground. They're pretty far away from the Medusa, who will now go 4v1. No more mana left. The bashes come through from KP. They've got this kill on the Medusa. Rubik and Mars are just spectators for that.
Nyx Assassin scouting things out.
KP playing so aggressive, but again, another blink that's going to cost him his life. Lasso through. This is the Wisp in trouble. Tim's the second one to fall. TNC a little bit in over their head. Telekinesis illusory orb thrown from this Rubik, and the spear's going to miss, but Armel up onto the high ground trying to get some distance. Flame break, and the right clicks, God's Rebuke. Armel dead. Finally, Febby gets one in return as BDZ drops, but it will cost him his life here too. So it's just constant bodies being thrown from TNC and constant kills for Execration.
This is chaotic. Like a lot of these teams, not gonna say play cautious enough, where they're like giving away kills. 3 minutes ago, Execration looked like they have all their stuff together, and then they decide to overextend the TNC. They get the good kill on Medusa. They overextend, then it backfires. So, you know, this is a kind of a Southeast Asian Dota that everyone is talking about. You know, this constant fighting and pretty chaotic. Slark decided to build just a casual Sange to tank things up, and then has a BKB queued up. So, meanwhile, Slaughter managed to finish his hand of Midas. This is the hero that doesn't really flash farm, so it will help him out with getting the levels and get him to his blink BKB faster.
Is delaying that BKB on the Slark something that might be detrimental for TNC?
Not necessarily. I mean, getting like either Heaven's Halberd or upgrading that SNY still feels really good.
Are scanning.
Execration in the enemy jungle. Meanwhile, TNC. Aaron Roche. At least for the moment.
Febby's drawing on a minimap. He knows something is up.
Smoke ends up breaking. There's the silence from the Stolen Waning Rift from BDZ. They will take Slark out. Yeah, Armel, he drops. They've got the arena down. Tims and Febby are inside the arena, and not long for this world. They are both dead, and it's a double kill for Ken, now dominating. Thought for a second maybe Armel would live with that tether coming through, but it's more than enough from Execration. And I like that from Gabby. He's cutting the creep waves, trying to make sure that you know, Execration can't push, take these objectives on a victory like that.
Considering how this game is developing and how the last fight went, this is something that he needs to do. Just, you know, cut the creepers. They have, let's say, a bit of limited catch, unless Nyx Assassin is there. Oh my god, is he actually going to get the solo kill on a Batrider?
Too fast for Gabby. Almost, though.
Well, you see, this is why Puck is the hero that's mostly banned out. You know, even if he didn't have that great of a start, still deals so much damage with that Witchblade and a Blink Dagger. He just got level 15, 30 damage talent, phase shift attack. He also wants to be able to scale as a second core, especially when you have Slaughter in the team with that corrosive haze. So you really, really feel like a core.
He's going for Linken's, and he's taking the phase shift attack. He's trying to output some damage. Is the Linken's the item he needs? You know, would he be okay if he took something that wasn't as defensive?
I think you need it against the Batrider, against like Nyx Assassin, Rubik. It feels really good.
Slark looking for the Sanj and Yasha. Has the Yasha part queued up. Already has the Sanj, but also has the BKB. So we'll see what the decision ends up being. Does he go for the BKB first? Or does he finish off the Sanj and Yasha? 4 staff picked up for RR.
If TNC can get a good, like, 2 kills near the Roche pit, they can easily transition that into Aegis for them, with Slardar being alive, of course. But for now, I think TNC just does not want to take any engagements. They would probably just farm their BKB on Slardar, farm their another item on a Slark. Puck just finished his Witchblade and has 2,000 gold saved up. So for now, it's much better if they just play it a bit slow.
Flame break, Febby.
Double 4-staff play. I was like, man, what is that? That 4-staff for cast range? And then I realized Rubik has one also.
And they've got Force on 3 heroes. Wow.
When you make 4 4-staffs, then the game just officially ends. You're too good. Yeah, I can understand why. You know, just pushing people out of someone that is focused by Slardar against the Pounce, it breaks it, and against the Ice Shard, it feels really good.
Is that kind of like how in Civ you can win via science?
Yeah.
You win via 4 staffs?
Exactly. There's still some hidden gems in Dota that are undiscovered. I mean, I'm telling you about these secrets. Hope you're listening. Hope you're paying attention. So the next time in a pub, you're like, yeah, this game's not winnable. You just buy 4 4-staffs.
And you win. Impale. And the TP's coming through. They've got the lasso. They'll take out Gabby. They have the arena. The stolen Walrus Punch. Armel just trying to survive. Get the TP away just in time. They found Tims, who will tether over to KP. The flame break doesn't land. And it's just 1, but it's another 1 for Execration.
Ken is getting some really good initiations with his Batrider. I love the build in this game. Boots of Travel into BKB, because they don't have too many answers for his BKB besides like Slardar and his Bash. So pretty covered. He can go in, then decides to get a 4-staff just to break the Pounce from Slark or get a better initiation for himself. And the next item that I see is the Ether Lens, which, you know, you get so much value out of it because you also want to lower the cooldown eventually if the game drags on. And Ether Lens now is that upgrade for Octarine Core.
And he's moving so fast with that Firefly, 498 movement speed. He's able to initiate and get in on these lassos. He's been very important to the starts of these fights. If it does go later, that Octarine Core could come in clutch. And there's that Aether Lens finished off. They're up 7,000 on Execration. Ken filling up that bottle with the Bounty Rune just 25 minutes into the game. And we've seen it. And there it is on the graph. It was a little bit of a lead for TNC early on. Experience stayed about even. But since that little bit of a lead, it has dropped off immensely, where Execration have taken over in tenfold. Walrus Punch. Now they've got the Dream Coil. That's out on the Ken. Meanwhile, the arena on the other side of this fight. Slither Crush comes through. Rapido pop the BKB. Medusa on the high ground, hitting over onto Armel. God's Rebuke with a 2-man Impale. That lands onto the Tusk as well as the Slark. They take out Febby. They'll look for Armel. The chase is on. They'll find Tims, and that will drag them off the trail of the Slark. And then he gets to tether all the way back, so he survives. But this is right by the Roche pit. And Aegis is important for both these teams.
It is. I mean, it's only position 5 who died, but they're all inside the river near the Roche pit. So even if TNC is like, yeah, we can contest that, they still didn't use Lasso, they didn't use Medusa ulti, so they're pretty covered inside the pit. And Mars Arena will be up in 20 seconds, so this seems like a freebie for Execration.
Put that Aegis on the Medusa. Going Blink Dagger next on the Rubik. They have really controlled this game a lot, quite well, and they will look over at Gabby. They had Spike Carapace with the Impale. Look at that jump from BDZ. Looking to finish off Gabby. His movements with the Illusory Orb and the Force Staff. I think he was all over that Puck who just got away.
It was very close. Fate Bolt wouldn't finish him. Fate Bolt plus 1 extra spell, but you can see the way he thinks, kind of inside of TNC's head where they're gonna go. I'd say Execration is in full control of this game. Medusa with Aegis, Butterfly queued up next. That's gonna help out with some right clicks, damage mitigation against Slardar and Slark.
Telekinesis with the lasso, Impale. Gabby not having a fun one, as he is dead once again. This has been really tough for them. You said Execration, they're holding on to the driver's seat of this first game. I don't really see many options for TNC.
I mean, game's still winnable, don't get me wrong, but Execration just feels very strong right now. This is the buyback from Puck. Tier 3 tower already gone, so Medusa can start hitting the melee barracks.
Who's gonna trade the base? A little shocked. They're going for the tier 3. They're doing a lot of damage to it. Behind them, though, is KP with BKB getting popped. They've got the Slithering Crush as well as the Bash. Walrus Punch comes in with the Corrosive Haze, doing a lot of damage on to the Bat Rider, but not enough.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Slark and Wisp managed to deal quite a lot of damage to tier 3 tower.
Yeah, but back on the rack, so Gabby next to the Medusa, but not making the jump just yet. Blink Southern Crush, there's the man to pop. They go with the relocate, they're gonna go to the back line, so get over at Rapido, but Tims is taken out so fast. Stone Gaze right onto this Slark. They've got the God's Rebuke with the telekinesis. Getting into that ulti form is the Slark. It will keep him alive for now, but I'm not sure it's gonna do much more than that. They've got
he
the
bounces
spear,
back
the
in.
pounce back in. Armel, one more shot. Down goes Armel. They take out Rapido and BDZ. The big bag Slark is gone.
Oh, that's such a huge misplay there. Like, he can get out with the pounce and have full HP, full mana. Melee barracks gone. Still Aegis on Medusa for 2.5 minutes. Butterfly will be done in the next minute, so they still have time with the Butterfly to knock on some more tier 3 towers. Puck also forced the buyback in the previous fight, so he needs to be a lot more careful. Nyx Assassin will probably try to get him killed during the split push.
And we see this replay, the spear and then the pounce back in. He's also got the Corrosive Haze on him, which ends up going off after the Dark Pact, but that was just, you know, unfortunate that that pounce brought him back into the fight and right into the grasp of the Dire. We're now up 11,000. They took the melee racks over top. This is looking like they're still in complete control of this game.
For sure. Rapido is playing so well. Like, his reactions are very Rapido, if you know what I mean. So, very quick. He's getting close to level 20. BKB done, plus a Blink Dagger. Like, his spears, his arenas were really on point. Even, like, God's Rebuke, you can see, like, multiple of those in the team fight, hitting 2 or more heroes. Butterfly done on Medusa. They need to be very careful about this one. Minute and 10 seconds left on Aegis.
Spike Carapace popped early, but he had broken the smokes as TNC were on the high ground.
TNC with the wraparound.
Not sure they can get into this so easily. You've got Tims on the high ground, waiting, watching this Medusa take the tier 3. Rapido spots the Slark. They're onto the back. They've got the Blink as well as the Southern Crush, but the BKB is off in time for Ken. They hit that lasso on the KP, though. Drag him into the rest of the team. Medusa right on him, but the Southern Crush comes in. That stuns up the Medusa for just a second. They look over at this Bat Rider. They get the kill on Ken. They'll take out one. It's 7 times free out of his hands, and he doesn't have buyback. He's dead for 73 seconds without it. They'll look over at RR, who's trying to avoid the BKB being popped by Armel. Down goes Febby. Down goes RR. Both 5s are gone, but the buyback comes out from the Slardar as well as this Tusk. They're over to the side looking for this Rubik. They finish off Tims. Down goes BDZ. It's just the Medusa as well as the Mars. But there's the stun with the spear. The damage is in. The snowball save. So Armel's living for just another moment. Gabby with the Illusory back onto the high ground, but do they reinitiate on this fight? as KP's been caught with the telekinesis coming in from BDZ. They've locked him up. The shards are there to block out the Medusa, but the Mars is with the Rubik enough to get the kill on the KP. He is dead for the second time, gone for 77 seconds, and Gabby's looking to make an aggressive play. He goes forward, Illusory Orb as well as the Waning Rift. Snowball in, Febby all by himself, 3v1. God's Rebuke, shards off the mark. He's dead again. He tried to buy back and get something done, but he loses his life for a second time. A double kill for Medusa, and now a 14k lead for Execration.
No one touched Medusa in that fight. She was completely uncontested, just right-clicking people down. That's a dieback from Rubik, but don't think TNC can get anything out of this. Like, they can't push any towers, 3 members still dead, and they used, what, 2 buybacks. It's still very scary to play into this Medusa.
Especially when you're not even touching her.
Yeah, I mean, Slaughter had a really good jump. He went for a right target, try to take out Batrider as fast as possible, but there's no real follow-up. Like, he's the only one who can deal damage through BKB, and there is not another set of stun. Maybe if Tusk manages to get on top of him with the Snowball and Volrus Punch, but they definitely need like 3 heroes to try to take down Batrider before he can pop off his BKB.
So Ken going into the Aeon Disc, has the Octarine Core like you said. And Solar Crest for the Nyx Assassin. RR's gotten a lot of farm considering he's in the 5, but they are ahead 14k. They've been taking over the map. They've had that opportunity to get some more on their supports.
I love the Aeon Disc that Batrider has queued up, because this is what I just talked about. He needs to be careful about that. We're going to go in, get you from 100 to 0 in 2-3 seconds if possible, so he also wants to cover that, just in case. Puck, BKB. All right. Had Aghanim Scepter queued up. Realizes maybe I need to stand the ground and take a fight. Also, it's very hard for him to, you know, deal with Nyx Assassin. Like, Lincoln Sphere is okay, but you still have the Talon phase shift attack. So he sees that attack flying, can easily carry pace it and stun you for a long time to set things up for even more stuns.
Orb coming over, they've smoked up, they'll use that spear to hit on the Tims. They've also got the Yules hitting Febby, so 2 heroes already in a bad spot, trying to relocate away, but hit before he's able to do so. Snowball just extending the inevitable. Dead is Febby, 2 gone on TNC. A clean initiation from Execration.
I just realized that Tusk, who's having a ceremonial robe, they changed the icon of that. It was kind of more red before, right?
I think so. Looks a lot more bluish and orange now. Not sure if they made the switch. Could be going colorblind.
Could be. It's always a possibility. Roche will respawn long in 2.5 minutes, so pretty much the max respawn time. Medusa just right-clicks the barracks. No one else is doing anything besides being prepared if there's any kind of jump.
Max being built for the Slardar KP. He's got the Blink Midas BKB, and it does feel like the Midas has kind of kept him, well, you know, in a spot where he has enough farm to kind of compete in these fights. Southern Crush comes through. BKB's been popped. Steal the sprint. He's trying to run 3 heroes on him. BKB now
man,
long.
that cast range.
Yeah, getting that lasso, locking him down. They kill off KP. It's that extra cast range coming in clutch. Allowing him to land that lasso. With the extra cast range, it does feel like he's actually kind of throwing the lasso. You don't have to be right up on these heroes.
He's being a real cowboy.
Yeah. 9, 4, and 12 for this Batrider. Almost has the, I think he does have the Aeon Disc coming out on the Courier. And then he's going into the Blink Dagger. So yeah, there it is. Even harder to kill now. Arnell, Demon Edge. He picks up an MKB.
There's a lot of investment into like damage department.
Has been killed.
Probably needs to do it, you know. You can't just build even more defensive items. So they need to go all in. They don't have 2 set of Raxes.
Can they fight into this Roche, or do they have to allow them to go for the Aegis?
if they let Medusa pick up the Aegis, I think the game is just over. So they need to contest it. They're not going to have a better chance. And you know what? Medusa gets an Illusion Escape. Not too bad. Also has Divine Rapier queued up, which I really like. You know, you are going to get that Aegis most likely. You're just holding on to Demon Edge. If things are not going well, you can transition that into MKB. She's getting jumped.
Himself, and let's see if they can get the kill the impel from the high ground coming in from RR. They've used the Stone Gaze, and KP
Just
turns
kidding.
to stone. Listening to that song by the Electric Light Orchestra just a little bit too long. Armel is also dead. BDZ falls. 2 heroes gone to the side of TNC without buyback. This is becoming a problem as KP pops the BKB, but the damage is just too much as KP. Without him, there's nothing to really lock down these heroes, and Gabby can't run too far.
Gem also dropped. Roshan just respawned. We can see, even if they get like the best possible jump on Medusa, when she's isolated, she's still going to be able to get that ulti off, and suddenly the fight is just over.
Yeah, it just, even with the jump, RR is the only one close enough on the high ground. He lands the impale onto the Slardar, but you just don't have the damage. You can't take out the Medusa. And now to try and take out the Medusa twice, who has the components for the Divine Rapier. I guess the question becomes, yeah, when do you unlock it, if you want to unlock it?
When you want to release the Kraken. You know, you just unlock it, and the damage is going to come out. There it is.
Yep. So Divine Rapier buyback from Gabby. Go for the tier 4 towers, and these are going to drop very quickly. Not an easy fight. Not even sure if it's one that they can feasibly win up against this Medusa, even if everything was dropped perfectly. Down 27,000 net worth. All 5 heroes are up. Both tier 4s are gone. Armel just running into the Medusa, taking so much damage. The Dream Coil onto the back line. He goes into the ulti, but they've got the last, so they get the kill to KP. Gabby, Armel, and Febby. KP just watching.
That's it.
He's gone, and it's the first game for Execration.
Man, Rapido had such a nice performance on this Mars. Like, his early rotations were exactly where he needed to be.
Yeah.
I feel like TNC could have possibly played the between 10 and 15 minute mark a bit differently, instead of trying to group up, go as 5, because Medusa still had that earlier point in her ulti, and Mars was always on point with his rotations, so kind of hard to fight into that. Maybe they needed to split the map a bit more, get those ganks going on. Slaughter had a really good timing on a Blink Dagger, you know, but the Execration, very well executed.
Yeah, they played really well. They take the first game from TNC, potentially seen as pretty big underdogs coming into this one, and now Execration up 1-0 over a team that, if you really want to make it to the major, this feels like a must-win situation. So we'll hear what the panel has to say about that. Nomad, back to you.
What an upset. Execration showing that you shouldn't doubt the underdogs. What a performance, what a game, and what an upset. Finally, we have some